I'm Stephen Ogden, Psyllid Coordinator with Potatoes New Zealand. Our research program in New Zealand's been going now for about 4 years. We've had Liberobacter and psyllids for a little bit longer than that. The last season has probably been a good one from the growers' perspectives. We've had it's been a cooler spring and a rainy sort of summer, which has suppressed the psyllid numbers, so it's actually been quite a good growing season in terms of psyllids. Very few zebra chip symptoms being seen in the last season. Very few rejects from processing, which again is a good thing. People are probably putting it down to the weather, but I think growers are also getting really good control programs in place now. They've got, they're doing monitoring in the crops. They're trying to reduce some of their insecticide inputs, stretch out, their spray intervals, that type of thing, and are really, I think, a lot more on top of the control program now than with 3 or 4 years of experience, which is great. One of the interesting things we did this July, having got to the end of 4 years of research, is we had a psyllid conference, and we're very fortunate to have been able to have Jack Wallace, Charlie Rush and Jim Crossland come out to New Zealand to speak at that conference. We had about a day and a half of papers altogether. All of the presentations from that are on the Potatoes New Zealand website, if anybody wants to have a look at those. In terms of research priorities, I guess from an industry perspective, direct grower benefits, one of the real perspectives is to reduce the number of insecticide inputs or applications that we're doing. It is very costly, and also a large number of applications having to go on. So work we've started doing last season was really looking at 2 main threads. What is some of the information we need to know about some of the new insecticides, some additional information about effects on egg laying, Liberobacter transmission, do they have repellent effects, those types of things. So there's some work going on onto that to try and fill in some of the gaps of information we don't know. And we've also got a bit of work going on with oils as insecticides, not just as additives to insecticides. And the idea of that is that there may be a part of the season late in the season perhaps when we can put several applications of oils on instead of insecticides. And some of the products we looked at last year in some greenhouse pot trials were very promising. So what we're doing this year is doing some field trials on those. That's a new 3-year program that's got another 2 seasons to go. We're also obviously working closely with Plant and Food Research, which have with their government-funded research, and they've got a number of research themes more in the sort of the basic biology, trying to understand what's happening with the psyllid and with Liberobacter. So they're looking at host plants, what's happening to Liberobacter in that plant, where do you find the highest levels of Liberobacter in the plant, what sort of multiplication rates it has in the plant, those types of things. Also, obviously, with the psyllid as well, trying to understand a little bit more about those host-plant interactions and rates of acquisition of Liberobacter and transmission back into other plants. There's some work going on with the Liberobacter genome as well. Again, trying to understand, do we have the same thing precisely as you do in the USA? Is it slightly different or changed in some way since it's been in New Zealand? Because some of the symptoms we see in New Zealand are, I think, quite different to what you get in the USA. We don't really see a lot of typical zebra chip symptoms in tubers. Other work they're doing, as I said, doing work on host plants. There's quite a bit of work going on looking at symptoms and tuber transmission, what happens with infected seed tubers. Does that transmit through to the next generation of seed, and what some of those impacts on yields are. So really that's just a small summary of the research that's going on. As I say, there's another 2 or 3 years of the research program to go, and we hope to be able to find some ways really of growers reducing some of their costs. That's their main aim long term, I guess.